Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a 2020 Jeep Gladiator, and today I'm going to show you guys why I think this might just be the coolest midsize pickup truck ever built. Before I begin the review, I want to give a huge shout out to Ken Haslett, Steve Bennett, and the team at Rothrock Motors for allowing me to review this Gladiator. For all your Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram needs, you can contact Rothrock at their website. Starting up front here, this is the sport trim model. It's the entry level in the Jeep Gladiator, and I really wanted to review this because I wanted to see what the entry level came with. A lot of the time when I see these reviews, I feel like it's always on the Rubicon or the Denali or the Lariat, whatever the highest trim is. So what I wanted to do with my reviews is review the mid and entry level trims of pickup trucks to show you guys what you get with them. Up here you have your classic 7-slot Jeep grill with halogen headlights, turn signals, and fog lights. You also have your tow hooks on this big plastic bumper. One more thing before we get to the engine I think is so cool is inside the headlight cluster you have a tiny little Jeep there on the headlight that is adorable and a staple of the Jeeps. They tend to hide little Easter egg Jeeps all around the truck, so if I find them, I'll point them out to you guys. Under the hood, the Jeep Gladiator is powered by a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, making about 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, and that's made it to a beautifully shifting 8-speed automatic transmission. Moving on to the profile of the truck, you have these nice 17-inch aluminum wheels, and you have another little hidden Jeep down there. Moving on to the back of the Gladiator, the bed and the towing is where this truck really differentiates itself from anything else in the midsize. For starters though, you have the big Jeep logo across, you have backup camera, third brake light because obviously it is a removable hardtop, so they put the third brake light right here. I actually really like how that looks. Tow hooks in the back, and you have your trailering system and a soft down tailgate. This is aluminum, very light. I really like it. Super easy to put back up. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of this truck. If properly equipped, the Gladiator can tow 7,650 pounds, which is class leading for the midsize pickup trucks. What's also class leading is its payload capacity of 1,600 pounds. Jeep really came to play with the payload and towing capacity on this truck. This is far more than a Wrangler with a bed. They really knew what they were doing here. Moving on to the bed itself, you have 2 spots for cup holders right here, LED lights on each side for the bed, as well as 2 cargo tie downs on each side. This particular model unfortunately does not come with a factory spray and bed liner, though of course it is an option. One thing that's a staple of the Wrangler that the Gladiator carries over is the removable roof. The cool thing on this hardtop is if you don't want to take the entire roof section off, you can just unpop these, and then all you have to do is get out, and you can lift this whole section right off. You could do that on both sides, and then you have the convertible open air look without needing to take the entire hardtop off, though it is completely removable. The interior is pretty much carried over from the Wrangler, but it is gorgeous. Jeep really spared no expense when they were making this new platform design. This particular model, remind you, entry-level sport trim, has heated seats, heated steering wheel, you'll have steering wheel controls, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is notably absent on some of the competitors. I won't name any names though. One thing I really like on these Jeeps is how they have to practically work around being able to remove the doors and the hardtop. So some of the buttons you traditionally find on the door are on the center console. For instance, you have your power windows right here on the middle. And another thing that's very interesting is that they can't put door speakers in the doors because if you're taking the doors off, then you can't listen to any music. It's also a little bit more complicated for wiring if you're unplugging and taking the doors off then. So what they've done is on the lower dash here, you have speakers right below there. You have speakers at the top of the dash right here. And then right on the center top bar here, there's speakers for the rear occupants, as well as a dome light. So that's kind of cool how they break that up and they work around being able to take the doors off. Very smart thinking on Jeep's part. One more thing I want to mention as I'm kind of looking over all the buttons here, you have a DC 12-volt adapter, you have media, so USB, USB-C, and an auxiliary input, and then below that you have 4 auxiliary buttons. Jeep knows their market. They know you're going to mod your truck, you're going to take it off-road, probably light bars, stuff like that, so they've given you 4 auxiliary buttons down in the center stack here to attach pretty much anything you want to in the future. They really know their customer. As for backseat legroom, if we move in here, for a mid-size truck, it's pretty comfortable. The center console in the back here is the same situation up front. Obviously, they couldn't put the power windows on the doors, so you have the buttons right here. You have cup holders down here, and you have climate vents back here. A notable absence on some of the competitors. In the back here, you have a manual sliding rear window. You know, I personally would like a power sliding one. You think on a truck with so many features that a power sliding one would be available. But my guess is because the hardtop's removable, there's probably something in the wiring there that it's too complicated to have a power window, so you have the manual one. So, it's still a really cool feature to have. Another thing I want to mention is this right here. A driver's side grab handle on a mid-size truck. Thank you, Jeep. Thank you. Driving the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Leather wrap steering wheel. Very nice. I think that's really cool on this guy. And gonna give it a little spin. I think the key to a mid-size truck is to make sure it doesn't feel like a big full-size truck. Of course, I'm driving with the top section off because you have to, obviously, if it's a convertible. It's a beautiful day like today. You want to get the best you can. It handles really well. The gas isn't too sensitive. It's not too touchy. The acceleration is pretty responsive when you floor it here. Man, I just love having the open top here. It is so much fun, and I just love the open air feeling of it, and how it's just so neat. It's just so neat. I understand why people buy Jeeps. It's not just, oh, I got a Jeep because everybody else has it. It's, I got a Jeep because it's so much fun to drive. One thing I do want to mention, driver's side grab handle on this. I know some of you think that's so silly, so dumb, but I'm so happy that this has that driver's side grab handle because none of the other competitors do. And since it doesn't have that driver's side grab handle on the other competitors, this might be something you want to look at. Because I know a lot of people I've talked to in the comments of my videos and in person say that they'd prefer a grab handle on the driver's side just because it's hard to get into. The ground clearance, even on these mid-sized trucks, is pretty high, especially on this Jeep because of its off-road capabilities. Obviously not going to take it off-road today, but I just wanted to get the impressions, the driving feel of this. And man, it is like buttery smooth. The 8-speed automatic is fantastic. The 6-speed automatic that's on my Tacoma, boy, you can feel the shifts. It's like upshift, boom, boom, and a downshift, boom, and it jolts. It physically jolts the truck. I really like how these vehicles have the auto start-stop to prevent you just idling there. It's great to see these V6 engines because as the market shifts towards more and more pickup truck purchasers, I think that we need to have better fuel-efficient pickup trucks. So to see this 3.6 Pentastar and this Gladiator is really good because, especially with this auto start-stop system, it's going to save you on fuel economy in the long run, especially if you're in a lot of stop-and-go city traffic. It's really neat. Kicks back on just like that. If I come to a stop here, shuts off. You feel a little tiny jolt on it. And then once you start going again, kicks back in. One thing that I wanted to review this truck for was I think a lot of people think that this is an enthusiast truck. But as I can show you here, even on this sport trim, you don't have to get the highest Gladiator to get all the features. I think it's great with everything that this comes with. I mean, I don't know any other entry-level truck that has, and obviously it's a package you can get, that has heated seats, heated steering wheel and stuff. So to have that on this truck is such a cool feature. And I want to open up more people's eyes to see that this is definitely a truck that you can look at if you're looking for a midsize because its towing and payload capacity is so good compared to the other midsize trucks that it's definitely worth a consideration, and it's much more than just an off-road truck, which it is. It's so capable of that. But on-road, its drive is so buttery smooth that I think it's definitely something you could consider for your midsize truck. A daily driver. It has the auto start stop. It has all these features, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that are all optional and stuff, and you have all these creature comforts that you can get. Boy, I hope the audio comes through on this, or this would have been a big waste to talk about this while I'm on the highway. But yeah, I think that this is definitely something that could be considered a daily driver for anyone, in that it's much more than just an off-road oriented truck, and it feels great on the highway, feels great in stop-and-go traffic. So that was a little overview of the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Sport. I hope you guys really liked it. I had fun looking over this truck. I think it's so cool. It's great off-road. It's got a convertible top, and it's a pickup truck. It's like a pocket knife or a transformer, or like a transforming pocket knife. And to answer your question in advance, it would definitely be an Autobot. Everybody knows Decepticons are always fighter jets. Lastly, I want to give a huge thanks again to Rothrock in Allentown for allowing me to review this Gladiator. For all your Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram needs, you can contact Rothrock at their website. I'll leave a link in the description below. Thanks again for watching, everybody. If you could hit subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think of the Gladiator or your pickup truck. Just let me know. Take care.